Managing your time effectively in the IELTS reading test is crucial for maximizing your score. In this session, you'll be looking at some time-saving measures to adopt to finish the test on time. One way to properly manage your time in the IELTS reading test is to familiarize yourself with the test format. This involves knowing the nature of the passages, the number of questions to answer, time allocations, the question types, and perhaps the marking criteria. All these have been vividly explained in the section 2 of this course. Give yourself some free time. Once you have the test format at your fingertips, you will need to check how many hours you can use to answer all the 40 questions in the reading test. Here, you have to use your first practice session to do that. In that practice session, give yourself some free time, and then this is how you have to do it. First of all, you won't time yourself. You don't have to set your alarm clock to 60 minutes, which is the usual finishing time for the IELTS academic reading test. Just look at the starting time, and then that is it. Start answering the questions without fear or panic. So let's say it has been 2 hours since I started answering the questions. I have found all the answers, but there's a problem that needs a solution. I used 2 hours to answer 40 questions instead of 1 hour. What this means is that my baseline for getting all my answers on time is 2 hours. And to cut this down to 1 hour or less, I have to work on it. But the question is, what do I do to cut down these 2 hours to 1 hour? Identify what delays your time. The question is, what happens that you have to use 2 hours to answer 40 questions? If your baseline is 3 hours, what happened within that period? What were you actually doing? You have to identify what delayed your time. Underline all keywords. Did you underline all the keywords in the passage? You see, underline all the keywords in the reading passage before you start looking for the answers wouldn't sound like a good idea. Yes, it is not a good idea, hence you must stop doing it. Understand that about 60% of the keywords you underline in the passage will not be related to you finding the right answers. They are just distractors. And if you go ahead and underline them, they make the passages pushy and then blind you from seeing the right keywords. So you have to stop underlining all keywords. Do you flip pages? Flipping pages can take a toll on your time management. Trust me. Flipping pages is the art of turning the IELTS reading question paper from one page to the next with the idea of looking at how long the passages are, the type of questions available, the number of questions following each passage. This exercise is likely to take 30 seconds of your time, and saving this number of seconds can help you locate an answer to a question. What I also want to add is that flipping pages does not add any value to finding an answer, so doing it only wastes time. And one thing you should understand is that, you see, no matter the question types present, the nature of the passages, or the number of questions following a passage, you can't change it. You still have to answer them all. You still have to answer everything. So there's no point in doing something that won't help you get an answer. Stop it. Are you unable to omit questions? This is another way to lose time in the reading test. Remember that not all the questions will appear easy. That's something you have to take into consideration. Therefore, staying on a question for a very long time can cause you a lot of damage. It will possibly steal a lot of time that could have been allocated to other questions. You need to check this as you practice. Do you normally write your answers on the question paper before you later transfer them onto an answer booklet? Yes, this may appear to be such a small activity that you may not realize its impact on your time management. Every little thing you do in the IELTS reading test counts. It can either give you the score you want or deny it. Deduce strategies to fill the gaps. Once you know what delays your time, you should realize that there are potholes that need to be filled. And once they are filled, your baseline will be reduced from 2 hours or 3 hours to something less. What do you then do to fill up the potholes I talked about? Stop doing them. Stop underlining all the keywords in the passages before you start answering your questions. Avoid flipping the passages and focus on one passage at a time. Learn to omit on time questions you struggle to find answers to. Make sure that in both your practice sessions and then during the exams, you write your answers directly on the answer booklet and not on the question paper. Some people are not very sure of the answers they choose, prefer to write them on the question paper and then later transfer them onto an answer booklet. This exercise can be very dangerous because in the reading test, you are not given any extra time to write out your answers. Take advantage of the first passage. One sure way to manage your time is to take advantage of the first passage. Let me demonstrate how you can do that. In your practice sessions or during your exams, bear in mind that the first passage is always the least difficult. And like the passages 2 and 3, you have just 20 minutes to finish it. So instead of using all the 20 minutes on the easiest passage, it would be a good idea to spend less than 20 minutes and channel the remaining minutes to the difficult passages. This is what is described as taking advantage of the first passage. For example, you can limit yourself to using 15 minutes to answer passage 1 and give out 5 minutes to either of the remaining passages. To do this properly, you must train yourself for it, and you'll be looking at how to go about it in the subsequent session. Answer 2 question types at a go. You see, if you are looking for one reliable way to properly manage your time in the reading test, then you must learn how to answer 2 question types at a time. This technique can save you a lot of time because you do not have to rush through getting your answers. More of this technique has been discussed in the next session. Track your answers. You see, tracking your answers is a skill you have to learn. It can also be termed as signposting. If you can track your answers, you can boldly omit questions you cannot quickly find answers to. This is to say that with tracking, you don't have to waste so much time on a question. How do you track your answers? Let me demonstrate it. This is a summary completion question type. If the answer to question 1 is found in this paragraph, let's say it is creativity. To signpost or track this answer, draw a rectangle around it. It can be a circle, a triangle, or any, and then draw a line towards the margin of the question paper and indicate the question number against it. This is the art of tracking your answers. Once you track an answer, go back and write it on your answer booklet. Move on to the next question. Let's say I'm struggling to find the answer to question 2. I will freely omit it and move on to question 3. Fair enough, I found the answer to the third question in this paragraph. Now watch this closely. Because the answers to the summary completion come in order, I can tell where to locate the answer to question 2 with the help of tracking. This is my first answer, number 1. This is the third answer, number 3. The answer to question 2 should come after where I found the answer to question 1 and above where I found the answer to question 3. So as you can see, this section of the paragraph has the answer to question 2. You see, by tracking your answers, you can easily locate the part of the passage where the answers to the omitted questions can be found. This method can help you to freely omit questions you don't know, so that if you've got some time to spare, you can come back to them. But what I want to say is that if you haven't understood the concepts of tracking, don't worry. You will see more of this in the session 5 of this course.